welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Umeed scheme inspires women entrepreneurs in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri. Protesters demanding Hindu kingdom clash with police in Nepal. And Pakistan exposed at UN for human rights violations in POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. Let's begin the show. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Indian government is actively pushing policies and programs that are exclusive to women and promote their empowerment. There are numerous skill development initiatives in place to promote women's entrepreneurship and an inclusive society. Women in Muradpur Panchayat and Bathuni Block, Rajouri, have started a variety of small businesses including dairy, pickle manufacturing, handicrafts and tailoring, thanks to programs like Umeed scheme under the National Rural Livelihoods Mission. Have a look. The Government of India is endeavouring to empower women in every nook and corner of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. In its mission to provide equal opportunities and impart entrepreneurship skills to the women, the government has taken many initiatives and launched a number of schemes for their growth. A revolution fueled by empowerment, determination and the spirit of self-reliance is underway in the border district of Rajouri. Under the National Rural Livelihoods Mission Umeed scheme, women of Rajouri are rewriting their destinies.
उम्मीद से जुड़े हुए हमें 2 साल हो गए हैं। इससे उम्मीद में हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला। जैसे बहुत सारी लेडीज़ को बहुत हेजिटेशन थी, वो घर में ही रहती थी, कोई काम नहीं कर सकती थी, लेकिन ये हमें एक बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म मिला है जिससे हम घर बैठे ही वर्क एट होम है, हम घर बैठे जब हमारा फ्री टाइम होता है हम कुछ ना कुछ कर लेते हैं। जैसे अगर किसी को स्टिचिंग करनी आती है वो स्टिचिंग कर लेता है। जैसे हमारे यहाँ टोकरियाँ वगैरह बनाते हैं, अचार डालते हैं, मतलब जो काम भी है वो घर में बैठ के कर सकते हैं और हमारी मार्केटिंग भी अच्छे से हो जाती है।
और उम्मीद में आके हमें काफ़ी फ़ायदा हुआ है, हमने बहुत कुछ नया सीखा है। हम यहाँ जब भी आते हैं कोई नई चीज़ ही सीख के जाते हैं। यहाँ से हमें अचार बनाना, हमने ITI भी की है, हमें वहाँ भी कोर्स करवाया था इन्होंने। 15 दिन की हमने ITI कोर्स स्टिचिंग की है और हमने लोन जिसको लोन की ज़रूरत होती है उसको लोन भी मिलता है और वो भी कम से कम इंटरेस्ट में और बिना गारंटी के यहाँ पे लोन दिया जाता है। औरतें यहाँ आगे आती हैं, महिलाएं आती हैं, उन्हें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। पहले तो हमें इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं थी, लेकिन धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे जिसको इसकी जानकारी होती गई वो इसके साथ आके जुड़ती गई और अपना काम अपने बल पर करती गई और सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट हो गई।
Under the Umeed scheme, rural women are encouraged to form self-help groups, pool resources and invest in each other's businesses. Also, through training and awareness programs, the government ensures that these women are equipped with the skills and knowledge needed for sustainable growth.
हमारा बेसिकली ये कंसेप्ट है जो सेंटर की स्कीम है, सेंटर स्पॉन्सर, इसका नाम है JKRLM उम्मीद। तो इसका जो मेन बेसिक कंसेप्ट है, बेसिक फोकस जो है वो है हमारा लाइवलीहुड क्रिएट करना, कि जो हमारी माता बहनें हैं उनको अपने पाँव पे सस्टेन करना है, उनको अपने पाँव पे खड़ा करना। तो हमारे यहाँ रजौरी ब्लॉक में के क्लस्टर सी में लगभग 120 के ग्रुप्स बने हुए हैं। तो यहाँ पे हमारे जो नवंबर 2021 में ये स्टार्ट हुआ था ब्लॉग, तो उसमें अब तक लगभग 2-2.5 साल के बीच हमने 120 ग्रुप बनाए हैं और यहाँ पे काफ़ी सारा गवर्नमेंट से भी जो सरकार की तरफ से फंड्स आया है, ग्रुप्स को फंड वो भी हमने करवाया है। उसके बाद बैंक लिंकेज लगभग हमारे क्लस्टर में हुआ है, जहाँ से जो पैसा लेके हमारी माताओं बहनों ने अपने इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे छोटे मोटे रोजगार किए हैं और वो बहुत अच्छे से उनको अपनी आमदनी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं।
The public sector banks also provide loans at minimal interest rates to the women to expand their businesses and marketing of their products. Several women in Muradpur Panchayat and Bathuni block of Rajouri have established diverse small businesses including dairy, pickle making, handicrafts and tailoring. Today, these women stand tall on their own feet, proud and independent. They are no longer dependent on others and are becoming a driving force behind a new era of empowerment in Rajouri. Moving on to Nepal's capital city, Kathmandu, where protesters took to the streets voicing their demands loud and clear. A call for the restoration of Hindu kingdom and a return to constitutional monarchy has brought hundreds of people together. The rally, which is being organized by the right-wing Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, is meant to upend the status quo in politics. Demonstrators' impassioned cries resound around the capital amid the tumultuous events. They march with purpose, holding banners and chants that call for change in the political direction of the country. We have this report.
Hundreds of protesters took to the streets in Nepal to demand for reinstating constitutional monarchy and converting the nation to a Hindu kingdom. The protest, called by the pro-right-wing Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, Nationalist People's Party, saw people marching and raising slogans for eradicating the current provincial government in the capital city of Kathmandu. Protesters scuffled with police and tore down barricades to enter a restricted area, after which the anti-riot force had to charge them down with water cannons.
यसको लागि संविधान नै परिवर्तन हुनुपर्छ भन्ने राप्रपाको माग हो। यो मुलुकमा संविधान परिवर्तन गरेर यो मुलुकमा हिन्दू राष्ट्र कायम हुने र राष्ट्र संस्थालाई स्थापना गर्न सक्यौं राष्ट्रपतिको ठाउँमा भन्देखि मात्रै यो मुलुक बच्न सक्छ। होइन भनेदेखि आज मुलुक ज्यादै विषम परिस्थितिमा गयो। अब जनताहरूले टुलटुलो हेरेर बस्ने वातावरण छैन। अब प्रत्येक जनताहरू सडकमा उर्लिनु पर्ने अवस्था सिर्जना भएको हुनाले आज राष्ट्रिय प्रजातन्त्र पार्टीले यो कार्यक्रम सञ्चालन गरेको।
Former Maoist rebel chief Pushpakamal Dahal, who still goes by his nom de guerre of Prachanda Fierce, is now Nepal's Prime Minister, heading a coalition with the centrist Nepali Congress Party. A specially elected assembly abolished the 239-year-old monarchy in 2008 under terms of an accord that ended a Maoist insurgency which killed 17,000 people between 1996 and 2006 and established a federal republic. A major section of the road that works as a lifeline of Kathmandu's traffic came to a standstill as they took the road and marched towards Singha Darbar, the administrative capital of the Himalayan nation. Local authorities have been extending the prohibitory order for the area, resulting in frequent clashes during demonstrations that are held occasionally in the capital.
We have 40 points demand letter that has been present to the Prime Minister of Nepal a month back, but our demand, those 40 points demand letter, it has not been acknowledged by the government. That is why we're doing this protest. We're demanding for a constitutional monarchy, a Hindu kingdom, and the province government, they are not been able to deliver to the system. So we are demanding of eradication of the province government as well.
Rashtriya Prajatantra Party chairman Rajendra Lingden, also a former deputy prime minister, led the protesters into the restricted zone as they reached near Bhadrakali temple near the army headquarters, defying the prohibitory orders. In the wake of the possible tension and violence, about 7,000 police personnel, including the Special Task Force of Nepal Police and the Armed Police Force, were deployed in and around the protest site.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Thousands of travellers joined the holiday rush back home, leaving the Bangladeshi capital of Dhaka to celebrate Eid al-Fitr with their families as the country began a long bridge holiday of 8 days. This year, the festivity started on Sunday when Muslims in Bangladesh observed Shab-e-Qadr and will end on April 14 when the country celebrates the Bengali New Year, aligning with the 3-day Eid holiday and the weekend to form the 8-day holiday period. People living in Dhaka started their journeys earlier this year, with some travelers noticing that the extended holiday has put an ease to the inadequate transport system in the country. The Bangladeshi capital is the workplace for some 22.4 million people, and the rush to celebrate the largest Muslim festival of the year often encompasses risky journeys by overcrowded ferries, trains and buses. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden hosted Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and his wife Yumio Kishida for a state dinner at the White House. Among those attending Wednesday's dinner were US Vice President Kamala Harris, American businessman Jeff Bezos, former US President Bill Clinton, and actor Robert De Niro. The menu for state dinner includes house-cured salmon with avocado and red grapefruit, dry-aged ribeye steak, and salted caramel pistachio cake with masha ganache and cherry ice cream. A group of about 60 felines will soon be transferred from an Argentine zoo to an Indian sanctuary because of overpopulation. Tigers and lions from the Luzon Zoo, 60 kilometers west of Buenos Aires, will be sent to the sanctuary of Tycoon Mukesh Ambani's son in India, which has thousands of hectares and a rescue center for elephants. The zoo was closed during the COVID-19 pandemic but would be reopened soon. However, it has an overpopulation of felines including tigers, lion and tiger crosses and pumas, a native species that is widespread in Argentina. The reserve, located in western India, is a project of Anant Ambani, son of the multi-millionaire Mukesh Ambani, considered the richest man in the Asian country and one of the wealthiest in the world.
Political activists have accused Pakistan of violating human rights, not only within its provinces, but also in areas under its forceful occupation. They are regularly drawing the attention of the international community to the suffering and systematic genocide of people in POK and Gilgit-Baltistan. We have a special report from Geneva detailing how political activists criticized Pakistan during the UN Human Rights Council session. Take a look.
Political activists from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan regions under Islamabad's forceful occupation for over 7 decades are leading protests to denounce Pakistan for its human rights violations. These activists are drawing attention to the hardships endured by residents of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, which include the escalating presence of terrorism and fundamentalism. Key concerns highlighted by the protesters include high inflation rates and inadequate health and education infrastructure.
Our main purpose was to highlight the miseries and plight of the people of state of Jammu and Kashmir, which is under illegal occupation of Pakistan, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, where people are protesting for their basic rights. They are deprived, their rights are compromised, and people are protesting, demanding that Pakistan must give them the ownership of their natural resources and self-rule. People are protesting, they are demanding that illegal taxes on the electricity bills must be abolished by Pakistan.
The United Kashmir People's National Party also organized a side event at the United Nations to make the Human Rights Council aware about violating human rights and exploiting natural resources in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. They spoke out against the Pakistan government's harsh laws, discriminatory policies, and blatant religious divisions.
During 55th regular session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, we have held a side event to record to highlight the worst human rights situation in Pakistan and Pakistani administrated Jammu Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, and especially the children which are kidnapped from various cities in Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Those cases were highlighted before the council members, before the international community, and we have demanded that they should ask Pakistan to recover those children and also revive fundamental human rights, political rights, social and economical rights of जम्मू कश्मीर एंड गिलगित बल्तिस्तान।
हमारे जो लोग भी वहाँ किसी भी हॉस्पिटल में जाते हैं तो उन्हें ये कह के टाल दिया जाता है, कह दिया जाता है कि आप फ़ौरन जो है ना पाकिस्तान के किसी हॉस्पिटल में चले जाएं। उनकी भी मजबूरी है क्योंकि वहाँ पे कोई फैसिलिटी ही नहीं है जिससे हमारे मरीज़ों की देखभाल की जा सके। स्पेशली प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन जो पाकिस्तान जा रही हैं, रास्ते में कितनी लोगों की सीरियस होने की वजह से डेथ हो जाती है। इसके अलावा मैंने हाईलाइट किया है कि टूरिज़म के हवाले से वहाँ पे जो आर्मी की ऑक्यूपेशन है उस हवाले से मैंने बात की है, और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के हवाले से बात की है। जो कश्मीर के लोग जो हैं वो वहाँ पे किस तरह प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनकी आवाज़ को कोई नहीं सुन रहा।
Ever since the illegal occupation by Pakistan, the people of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan have been facing difficulties. They have never been granted the rights they deserve as successive governments in Islamabad have continued to treat them unfairly. There are widespread protests in the region against the government over issues such as load shedding, poor education, and unemployment. Activists from POK and Gilgit-Baltistan have been consistently raising their voices against Pakistan's atrocities in the regions at various international platforms to protect the fundamental rights of the people.
Chinese are invited to Pakistan because they want to protect.
The greatness of India's culture can be seen in its festivals, and every Indian celebrates festivals with enthusiasm and devotion. It is an expressive way to celebrate the glorious heritage, culture and traditions of the country. So today, in our episode of South Asia Today, we will show you the colors of one of the Chaitra Navratri or 9 nights festival that is celebrated recently with fervour. Let's have a look. Known for its cultural richness and diverse ethnicity, India, a land of fairs and festivals, is once again treading on its year-long cultural and religious journey. With that, the slogans of Jai Mata Di echoed in the ears across the country as devotees flocked religious destinations to celebrate Chait Navratri, a Hindu festival dedicated to goddess Durga. Chaitra Navratri, also known as Vasant Navratri, is a 9-day Hindu festival that celebrates the 9 forms of goddess Durga: Shailaputri, Brahmacharini, Chandraghanta, Kushmanda, Skandamata, Katyayini, Kalratri, Mahagauri and Siddhidatri. For the 9 days, these 9 manifestations of Hindu goddess Durga are worshipped, marking the victory of good over evil. Chaitra Navratri generally falls in the Hindu calendar month of Chaitra between March and April and is celebrated with gaiety and fervour by devotees all across the world.
वासंतिक नवरात्र का द्वितीय दिवस है और द्वितीय दिवस माँ ब्रह्मचारिणी के स्वरूप के नाम से जाना जाता है। ब्रह्मचारिणी अर्थात तपस्चारिणी, इन्हें तपस्या की देवी कहा गया है। ब्रह्मचारिणी का एक नाम है कठोरता। इन्होंने ये राजा हिमालय के घर में पुत्री रूप में इन्होंने जन्म लिया और नारद जी की सलाह से इन्होंने भगवान शंकर को पति रूप में पाने के लिए कठोर तपस्या करी।
Coinciding with the arrival of spring, Chaitra Navratri marks a fresh start. The festival also signifies the Hindu New Year according to the Vikram Samvat calendar. During the 9-day-long festival, devotees observe fast, abstain from certain kinds of foods, and meditate to rejuvenate inflow of new energy within them. As part of tradition, devotees also chant mantras, prayers and sing devotional songs in the morning and evenings, filling the atmosphere with positive energy throughout the festival.
यहाँ पे हम लोग एक तो माता जी के दर्शन करना था पहला लक्ष्य, और अपना परिवार के लिए, देश का सुख शांति के लिए, गांव का हमारे शांति के लिए हम लोग आए हैं। थोड़ा इसके लिए नवरात्र का पहला दिन चूज किया। मैं पिछले महीने में राम मंदिर भी गया था, वहाँ पर भी देखा, लेकिन यहाँ का जो सजावट है वहाँ से बेहतर है इस बार, बहुत सुंदर है। मतलब ऐसा मैंने सजावट कभी देखा नहीं था।
Over the 9 days, devotees focus on specific form, offering prayers and performing rituals to invoke divine blessings. Furthermore, the 9th and the final day of the festival culminates in Ram Navami, commemorating the birth of Lord Ram. People during the event wear new clothes, prepare delicacies and also exchange gifts to foster a strong bond among family and friends. Meanwhile, the festival is a time for inner reflection, a celebration of the divine feminine and a joyous welcome to the vibrant season of spring. Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.